Happy Monday. Miss Karen here. It's so good to see you. So we're entering our number four. This is our fourth story, right? This is our fourth week of summer enrichment. And it's our last week too. I've had such a great time, and I know Miss Tina and Miss Veronica has had such a great time reading stories with you, doing science with you, and doing arts and crafts with you. I hope you had fun too. So this story is another tale. It is much like a folk tale or a fairy tale that we've been talking about, which are fiction stories. Fiction means that it's a made-up story, and it often has characters like animals that do things that people do, like animals that talk and walk on two legs and wear clothes and do things that humans do. Or a lot of these folk tales or fairy tales have mythical, magical creatures. Do you remember some of our mythical, magical creatures so far? In the first week, we met a giant, right? He's a mythical creature. And a hen that lays golden eggs, or a goose that lays golden eggs, right? Then we met a dragon. Dragons aren't real, they're mythical creatures, right? Then we also read a story about a hen and her friends, a dog and a cat, who acted just like people. So that's a fiction story, right? That was an old folk tale. And Jack and the Beanstalk was a fairy tale, right? So all these stories are made up stories. Now, this week we are reading a story called Strega Nona. Some of you live in families that have Italian families, right? And you call your grandparents Nonna or Nonno, right? That's grandma and grandpa. Now, this in Italian, Strega Nona, means grandma witch. So we know already that this is a fiction story because we know that grandmas are real, thank goodness, but we know witches are not real. A witch is a magical made-up character, okay? So right away we know from just the title that this is going to be a made-up story, a fiction text, right? Now, in the past, the stories that we read were either fairy tales or folk tales, which guess what? Were written down in the beginning. People knew those stories inside their heads. They remembered them and they just retold the stories over and over, sitting around campfires, telling their kids before they went to bed at night, right? Now this author, Tommy DiPaolo, he wrote a story because it says here, an original tale written and illustrated by this author called Strega Nona. So he took that genre, which is a type of a story, and he wrote his own story that's much like a folk tale, okay? Because he took a mythical creature or a person from an old story, like a witch, and he wrote his own story. Now, this book takes place in Italy, right? Because Strega Nona is Italian for grandma witch. Now, I want you to notice something. You see that big silver sticker right here? This means that this book won the Caldecott Medal of Honor. The Caldecott Medal of Honor is an honor or a prize that authors win when they are illustrators. Do you know what an illustrator does in a story? Well, we know that an author writes the words and an illustrator draws or paints the pictures. This book was so beautifully illustrated by this author that he won a prize for it, and that's pretty awesome. So that means that we have to pay even more attention. We always pay attention to the pictures because the pictures help tell the story, right? Always pay attention to the pictures and the words. They will help tell the story, especially in this book because this one is a beautifully illustrated. So let's look at the cover. What do you see on the cover? I see, you tell me. I see Strega Nona. That's Grandma Witch right there. She's got a big pot, looks like a cauldron. We know that when at Halloween, we call that a cauldron, right? And I see that she has bird friends. She has a bird up here, a beautiful peacock, and she has a little rabbit friend. You know, often witches are just wise women who know a lot of things, you know, and they make concoctions and they make potions that help people feel better, right? So this is the neighborhood Strega Nona. Let's find out what's going to happen. Your goodness, does the cover of this book tell you anything about what this story might be about? Well, I think it's going to be, the main character is going to be Strega Nona. She might make something in that pot. She might do something with the animals, right? I don't know. This is a cautionary tale, which means that you're going to learn a lesson from it. And you can tell me afterwards what you learned, okay? Let's read Strega Nona together. Okay, so let's look. We always like to look at the pictures. I told you about looking at the illustrations. This is a town that she lives in. Can you look up in the sky and tell me what time of day it is? Is it day or night? It's nighttime, that's right. How do you know? I see the moon and the stars and the sky is dark. So here's her town where she lives, okay? It's really not a city and it's really not the country. It's kind of in between. She lives in a town in Italy, right? And here she is talking to her animal friends at night with her cauldron or her pot, right? Wonder what she makes in that pot. Okay, there's a lot of words in this story, so let's look at the picture. I see a lot of people coming to Strega Nona for her help, I think. Let's see. In a town in Calabria, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. So everybody went to her for help. So was she a helpful person or an unhelpful person? I think she's helpful, right? She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands, and she was very good at getting rid of warts. Warts is like a growth on your skin. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the local square. She's looking for help around the house. Everybody needs help sometimes, right? And Big Anthony, who didn't really pay attention to anything, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. For this, I will give you 3 coins and place to sleep and food to eat." "Oh, grazie." That means thank you in Italian, said Big Anthony. "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "you never touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anybody touch that pot." "Oh, see, yes," said Big Anthony. And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for their headaches and the husbands and the warts. Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had plenty of food to eat. One evening, when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. So now we know, what does Strega Nona make in that pot? She makes the pasta. But what did she tell Big Anthony about that pasta pot? "Don't touch the pasta pot. You could do anything else, don't touch the pot." Do you foresee a problem coming up now? In a story, a lot of times when someone says don't do something, what happens? Oh, let's find out. This is what she sang. "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta, nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up." And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and was suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day." "How wonderful," said Big Anthony. "That's a magic pot for sure." And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't get to see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. So she blew 1, 2, 3 to the pasta pot. What do you think? Why do you think she was blowing kisses to the pasta pot? So he didn't see her do that, right? So this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everybody about the pasta pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly. A pot that cooked pasta all by itself. "You'd better go and confess to the priest, Big Anthony," they said. "You are such a liar." And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. "I'll show them," he said to himself. "Someday I'll get that pasta pot, and I'll make it cook, and then they'll all be sorry." So do they believe Big Anthony's story? I don't know. Would you believe Big Anthony's story if he told you that there was a pasta pot that cooked pasta by itself? They think that he's telling stories, and that made him a little angry. And when he got angry, he said, "I'm going to show them." But what did Strega Nona tell him? "Tell me. Don't touch the pasta pot." Uh-oh. And the day that he could show them came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, "Anthony, I must go over the mountain to the next town to see my friend, Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden, feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch, there are some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, Big Anthony, don't touch the pasta pot." "Oh, see, yes, Strega Nona," said Big Anthony. But inside, what was he thinking? "Oh, this is my chance." Now Strega Nona's gone. What is Big Anthony going to do? Make a prediction of what might happen. Do you think that he's just going to make pasta and everything's going to be fine? Here comes the problem in the story, right? Every story has a problem. Let's see what's going to happen. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled out the pasta off the shelf, and he put it on the floor. "Now, let's see if I can remember the words," said Big Anthony. And Big Anthony sang, "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot. Boil me some pasta, nice and hot. I'm hungry, and it's time to sup. Boil enough to fill me up." And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill up with steaming pasta. Can you make a prediction yet? "Aha," said Big Anthony, and he ran to the town square, jumped on the fountain, and shouted, "Everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls. Pasta for everyone at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pasta pot work." Of course, everyone laughed, but they ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls, and sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's, the pasta pot was so full, it was beginning to overflow. What's the problem, do you think? What did Strega Nona do that Big Anthony didn't see? I don't know. Let's see. Big Anthony was a town hero. He scooped out pasta and filled all the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for all the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters from the convent. And some people came back for 2 and 3 helpings, but the pot was never empty. It just kept filling up. When everyone had their fill, Big Anthony sang the rest of the song. "Enough, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot, so simmer down, my pot of clay, until I'm hungry another day." But alas, he didn't know about the 3 kisses. He went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to the compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling, until a sister from the convent said, "Oh, Big Anthony, look!" And what do you think they saw? Look. What's that? And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and was coming out the door. Oh no, look at the pictures. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but pasta kept falling out of it. Big Anthony grabbed a cover and he put it on the pot and he sat on it, but the pasta raised the cover and Big Anthony as well and spilled on the floor of Strega Nona's home. "Stop!" yelled Big Anthony, but the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him all up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. Out of the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling. The townspeople began to worry. "Do something, something, Big Anthony, they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again and again, but without the 3 kisses, it didn't do any good. By this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. Are they going to get covered by the pasta, the whole town? We must protect our town from the pasta, shouted the mayor. Get mattresses, tables and doors, anything to make a barricade. But even that didn't work. The pot just kept on bubbling and the pasta just kept coming. Oh my. It's like an avalanche of pasta. We are lost, said the people, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began praying. The pasta's going to cover up our town, they cried. And it certainly would have had Strega Nona not come down the road home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what was happening. She sang the magical song and blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter, the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. Oh, grazie, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona, the people cried. But then they turned on poor Big Anthony. String him up, the men of the town shouted. Why are they mad at him? Now, wait a minute, said Strega Nona. The punishment must fit the crime. And she took a fork from a lady standing nearby and she held it out to Big Anthony. All right, Anthony, you wanted a pasta from the magic pasta pot? Strega Nona said. And I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So you start eating. So what was the punishment? He's going to have to eat all the pasta. And he did. Poor Big Anthony. Look at his belly. Does he look happy? But Strega Nona's happy. She's sleeping, right? So do you know what the lesson is of this story? What do you think? Do you think that Big Anthony should have listened to Strega Nona, or it was okay what he did? Should he have listened or not listened? Yeah. The moral or the lesson in this story is when someone tells you something and when it's an adult, and an adult that you trust, like a grandma or a mommy or one of your grown-ups in your house, there's usually a reason. You know, if he had said to her, Strega Nona, can you show me the pasta pot and can I help you make pasta? She probably said, sure, as long as you listen to my directions. We want to stay safe. Was it safe what Big Anthony did? He made a big mess of the town. But luckily, Strega Nona was able to fix it, and she understood he made a mistake. Do you make mistakes? It's okay. But he has to learn. Do you think that Big Anthony will ever touch that pasta pot again? Nope, I don't think so either. Okay, my friends, I'm going to see you on Tuesday on Zoom for Miss Tina's Science, okay? Enjoy the story. Have a great Monday.